don't find myself particularly interesting.
Welcome back to the Media Circus, the game show about the news game. Joining us on the Media Circus tonight are author of Almost Sincerely, Zoe Norton-Lodge. From Triple J, it's Lewis Hobber. And economics writer for Fairfax, Jessica Irvine. And they're up against the reporter from The Checkout and SBS's The Feed, Kirsten Drysdale. Comedian Peter Berner.
Hello.
And Daily Telegraph columnist and Studio 10 host Joe Hildebrand. Now, this week we're trying to get the Revhead audience after Bathurst. So Zoe, Lewis and Jessica, you are Team V8s. And we're also trying to get the carbon emitting audience. So Kirsten, Peter and Joe, you're Team VWs, okay?
Right. Yeah.
And as always, the Media Circus is under the watchful eye of our fact-checker, Chaz Licciardello.
Thanks, Craig. And the fact-checking is very close to home this week, Craig, because I've been analysing Joe's show, Studio 10.
You're a very impressive man, you know.
Sorry, Joe.
Thank you, Chaz. And now let's play the news game.
Stitch Up.
And as always, we start with Stitch Up. We've stitched together 4 stories from the week's news. You have to tell us what they are. Here's your Stitch Up.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has
been laughed at by members of his own party after
suggesting Barack Obama is not a real
greasy bacon and egg roll.
All right, Team V8s, what was the first story there?
I think Did Kim Jong-un do something crazy?
Yeah, you wouldn't be saying that on the North Korean version of this show.
Did Kim Jong-un do something godlike and wonderful?
I think maybe he did. I think maybe he had a bit of a celebration of the anniversary of his party.
Yeah, that is right. That is right. North Korea has celebrated 70 years of the ruling Workers' Party this week. That is one of the worst Mardi Gras I've ever seen. What was the second story, Team VW?
Oh, this was the party room laughter. This was when Malcolm Turnbull gave a speech to the Liberal Council and said that they were not a party based on factionalism.
That's right, and it didn't go down too well. Let's see.
Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has been laughed at by members of his own party.
We're not run by factions. We're not run by... Well, you may dispute that. Nor are we run by big business or by deals in back rooms.
Oh, God. Is that his tell?
The best part was that he said it all after doing a deal in a back room with his faction because big business wasn't happy with the way the Liberal Party was going.
OK, here's a recap of the third story.
Suggesting Barack Obama is not a real...
Team V8, what was that about?
Oh, that was not black enough, right?
Yeah. I think it was Rupert Murdoch.
Excuse me, I believe his correct title is Dear Leader.
That is right.
A comment on Twitter has Rupert Murdoch in trouble again.
Saying, what about a real black president who can properly address the racial divide?
He did apologise for that, quickly admitting that Obama is really black and that Donald Trump is really orange. What I find fascinating is that he has, like, hundreds of fantastic editors and writers around the world. He's got Joe as well there. And yet he chooses to do these tweets on his own with no one checking them out.
That's right. He's just broken free.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the end of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest where the chief just throws the giant water cooler through the window and just runs off into the distance. That's pretty much what Rupert Murdoch's doing on Twitter.
Except that in Rupert Murdoch's version, that chief was not American Indian enough.
Yeah. All right, Murdoch was comparing Obama to Republican nominee Ben Carson, a pro-gun advocate who claimed in a mass shooting situation he would rush the shooter. But this week, he revealed what he did when he was actually held up.
Carson revealing what he did when he was once confronted by a gunman in a fast food restaurant. He did not rush the shooter.
The guy comes in, puts the gun in my ribs, and I just said, I believe that you want the guy behind the counter.
Oh, so you just redirected him to... Okay.
What a hero!
What a legend!
To be fair, you know, if Russia invades you, look, I think you want somebody else. I think you want Canada. All right, so Team VW, your turn again. Here's a reminder of the final story.
Greasy bacon and egg roll.
Great clue. Good luck.
That sounds like a Rupert Murdoch tweet.
Did it get thrown at someone?
Sorry to get thrown? No, it's not. Look,
It's not about the Rugby World Cup.
No, it's not about. Look, we could go through every news story.
Yeah.
I'm just going to answer.
And that was actually my plan.
It's a service offering door-to-door doctors for those who've had a very big night.
Well, whether it's a greasy bacon and egg roll or water and Panadol, most Australian drinkers have a go-to hangover cure.
The Hangover Clinic is a service that sends fully trained doctors to your home to administer IV fluids and medications like anti-nausea and headache pills.
Yes, they've already set up a global agency, Hangovers Sans Frontières.
I think Hangovers Sans Frontières is going to have to watch over for those Jaeger bombs. Are we not there yet?
Yes. Oh, well done, all the players there. At the end of the stitch-up, a winner it's Team V8, I think. Well done. Chaz, have you got a reward for our winners?
I do, Craig. Your reward is the complete history of Pauline Hanson's fruitful relationship with the Muslim community.
Do you have any Muslim friends?
I possibly may have. I have met Muslim people over the years. As a Member of Parliament, I went down to Bankstown and I met some Muslim women there who stood around and had a chat with me that time.
News School. Lesson 6. When chatting live on air, try to seem interested in what your colleagues have to say. Simon Reeve, listen with interest.
You've got to remind tradies to go to the doctor.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's still a majority man thing.
Yeah.
Although there's some women out there too these days.
Doing very well. Good. You appeared interested, even though what Samantha Armitage was saying was immensely dull. Natalie Barr, your turn.
It's got to be something obscure, a kind of...
let's do a
remember
mountain.
in Glasgow
Like
they had
Johnny
like a
Depp's
thistle?
dog. Like Boo Boo and Pistol.
Like Johnny Depp's dog.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good suggestion. Yeah, it's got to be...
Good effort, but you were less interested than you were congested. Jonathan Coleman, can you look interested?
We have so many sort of bland cardboard cutout politicians these days who speak in this ridiculous jargon that no one really understands because they're scared of offending anyone.
Do you understand that? Yeah.
Well, no, Donald Trump's completely mad.
You could understand every word he said.
But you can understand what he said.
Fail, Coleman! Although you were listening to Joe Hildebrand, so you're excused.
So you board of the news, so is our next game. Now, who's on the board this week? We have a V8 supercar. We've got the CEO in America of VW. We've got this protester here. We've got Darren Hinch, Andrew Robb and Danny Minogue. Which two are dating? No, that's not how we play this game. Teams take it in turn to pick a subject, but anyone can answer the questions by buzzing in. All right, OK, Team V8, you can start. What's your pick of the board?
I reckon...
Our titular character?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, the V8.
Yeah,
the V8, OK. You picked the V8 supercar. Have a look at this here.
The V8 driver in hot water.
Why was this driver in hot water? It's Joe.
It's because he called the first female racing crew the Pussy Wagon.
That is right. Let's see.
Hot water over more sexist remarks.
David, were you wary of the all-female team? Sorry? Was I aware of the Pussy Wagon?
Yeah, the shoe is correct. Foot in mouth. Foot in mouth.
Well, actually, his real crime, the reason he was fined $25,000 is because he did it without the movements. What he was meant to say was, "It's a real pussy wagon."
You should be fine, Joe. And I'm going to say, I'm a pretty angry person, but I don't find that outrageous. No, $25,000 for that.
For quoting Grease Lightning.
They don't say, Joe, they did not say pussy wagon in Grease Lightning.
Yeah.
No, they do not.
Know that I ain't bragging, it's a real pussy wagon. Grease Lightning, lightning. Grease Lightning, we're burning up a quarter.
Yes, Chaz.
Joe is correct. Now stop.
Why do you think it's bad that they got fined $25,000 though?
Because I just don't find that that outrageous or offensive. Like, the girls certainly themselves seem to be more pissed off at Dick Johnson for saying that they were a bit of a joke.
Dick Johnson.
He had a 1 in a million chance of finishing the race. Like, that's pretty more offensive. And also, grid girls. How can this be so outrageous and so sexist that this guy gets fined $25,000, but at the end, when they're all up on the podium, they've still got, like, the grid girls just there, just doing nothing but being eye candy for all the bogans down below. Like, that's what I'm scared about.
Yes, Chaz.
Craig, I'm going to have to pull Kirsten up on calling them bogans. The people at Bathurst are not bogans. They are sensitive and misunderstood.
They're often accused of being a little rough, but most are just big softies.
Sometimes they put, what's Slade's favourite song? The Lion King. Oh, put that on everything. They put the Lion King.
Yeah. All right, Team VW, what's your pick of the board?
Look, if they went with the team they're named after, we'll go with the team we're named after. Let's go with VW guy.
Oh, let's go. OK, you've picked Volkswagen's American CEO, Michael Horn, who faced some pretty tough questions at the US congressional hearing into emissions scandals.
How do you sleep at night? How do you call yourself a member of the human race? What?
Actually, VW used to call themselves members of the master race, but that's all. But look, Volkswagen isn't the only car company to make news this week. Who made headlines this week as an unwelcome brand ambassador for Toyota?
Yeah, go on, Buzz.
I believe it was Islamic State.
Islamic State, let's see.
The Toyota Hilux pickup is one tough truck, which has made the Toyota Hilux a truck of choice in war zones around the world, including by ISIS. Their propaganda videos show ISIS has hundreds of brand new Toyotas in its fleet.
I want to meet the salesman that is explaining that to his boss.
Yeah.
Look, it was a bulk deal, mate. It was a fleet sale.
Really. Toyota itself has long been the car brand of choice for many violent extremists, including Al-Qaeda, to Somali pirates, to Jeremy Clarkson. So it's not new. Look, brand reputation is often harmed in the news. Teams, buzz in if you can tell us the scandal associated with the brand, OK? First up, sports brand Nike. What got the famous swoosh in trouble this year? Kirsten.
People started caring about sweatshops again?
I think it was leaked that the design for the swoosh is actually like a shit smear, and that didn't...
Apparently they're the footwear of choice for ISIS.
No, you are wrong. Nike has recently been embroiled in the FIFA corruption scandal with claims that the company paid $40 million in bribes to secure sponsorship of the Brazilian soccer team in 1996. But they were actually relieved this came out because it distracted them from their deal with these guys here. Look at that.
Yeah, no, I think technically for Pistorius, his slogan was, just didn't do it.
Yeah.
They're really not a big seller of the shoes that Pistorius wore, though. They're not.
Look, next up we have the famously expensive wine Penfolds Grange. Buzz in if you know how this brand was tarnished this week.
I think they started releasing it in a cask, and it just didn't kind of work.
That is wrong. It's actually the footballer Greg Bird, who recently had his drug charges dropped. He'd been accused of using Grange as a code word to order cocaine via text message.
I'll have all my boys, so have you got the Grange? They're keen as mustard. I tell you, you want to bring a fair bit.
Yeah, Keen's Mustard were apparently delighted with the association.
But it makes no sense because Penfolds Grange is the only substance on earth that's more expensive than cocaine.
Coke is very useful for getting red wine stains out of couches and carpets too. You sprinkle it on. Very absorbent.
And then you just wait for people to jump on and suck it out.
They suck it out of the carpet.
Oh, God.
OK, this last one. Let's move to soft drinks. How was Fanta's brand damaged this year?
Well, somebody tried it, I think.
Yes, Jessica?
ISIS drinks it.
ISIS drinks it. Ram it down fast. No, they drink solo. The real reason is Fanta ran an ad celebrating its birth 75 years ago. It was meant to evoke childhood nostalgia, referring to the good old times.
Diese deutsche Ikone wird 75 Jahre alt. Und um das zu feiern, bringen wir das Gefühl der guten alten Zeit zurück mit der neuen Fanta Classic.
except 75 years ago was 1940. Placing the origin of Fanta right in the middle of Hitler's Germany, which some historians claim were not the good old times.
Yeah, they couldn't get Coke.
All right, team V8. Who do you want to pick?
Can we pick Andrew Robb?
Oh, okay. Just for you, Jessica.
Yeah.
You have selected Andrew Robb. Last week was all about the TPP. This week there's been an almighty squabble about negotiating protections for Aussie jobs following the China Free Trade Agreement. So let's play our new game. Andrew Robb and trade agreements will make you laugh out loud. So, here you go. During the first year of the China Free Trade Agreement, which of these will still attract a tariff? Live bees, live dugongs, or live ostriches?
My first thought, I don't know if this logic is good or not, but I would have thought the ostrich because it can't bloody travel. Like the dugong can swim to China, the bees can.
That's not how you export things. You don't say to the dugong, "Go to China." When you get there, give them this invoice.
Jess, what do you think?
Maybe bees.
They're dying, right? They're dying.
They produce honey, and that's useful.
Of
all those animals, the bees are the most useful.
That is incorrect. The answer is dugongs. If it's for breeding purposes, bees and ostriches can be exported to China tariff-free, but Darren the dugong farmer is going to have to pay an 8% tariff during the first year. Bloody politicians always slugging the dugong farmers.
Why did it specify that they're live? Like, is there a secondary market for dead
dugongs? I mean, no one wants a dead dugong.
McCain's frozen dugong. Hey, thought you worked on the checkout. Catch up.
Right, now for our next group. Which of these gets slapped with a whopping export tariff in the China Free Trade Agreement? Stamp collections, fossils, or antiques more than 100 years old?
It's got to be stamps because of stamp duty, right?
Oh, boom! Nice. There it is.
I got a boo!
An angry philatelist. The answer is actually, I would have given this to Zoe, but for a pun, the answer is actually stamp collections, which attract a 6.4% tariff. All right, our next question. Only one of these attracts a tariff. What is it? Nuclear reactors, floppy disk drives, or false beards?
Well, it's got to be the false beards.
False beards is actually right. It's ridiculous. This is very sad news for China's Ned Kelly impersonators. Look at that.
Right. I have to say, I agree with that. I think the false beard export industry is inhumane. I think we should be exporting live hipsters. And just transplanting the beards when we get there.
Explain this to me. When do we export nuclear reactors? We only have one.
Do you think that maybe the Australian negotiators got a little bit hornswoggled in the deal and so, they come back to Andrew Robb and say, guess what, guys? I got a great deal on nuclear reactors.
What if you mix it up? Like, what if you have a false beard but it's made out of bees?
Well, exactly. You can get around it. But isn't it funny that, there were trade negotiators...
Take notes.
But there are trade negotiators who have to sit around the table and distinguish between a fake beard. If it's 51% fake, what if it's half real? And this is why they take so long to sign these
I don't think anyone's actually doing that. Having looked at this, I think what they're doing is they're getting drunk and throwing darts at random words. I got fake beers, you get this fun. It's ridiculous. All right, look, everyone does seem to claim, though, that these free trade deals are better for Australia. And there was an article in this week that said that, in actual fact, Australia's free trade agreement with the US cost us $55 billion a year in lost trade. $53 billion. That's bad, right?
Well, actually, one of the best things free trade does is we drop our own tariffs for goods coming in. So that actually makes it harder for our producers who produce those things. So we effectively kill some of our industries because we decide, well, we're not actually really good at making fake beard.
But what's this about? We lose $53 billion of trade. Because generally every news story says, well, it'll probably be all right for Australia. Probably be better.
When they're calculating how much trade they've lost, they don't know against what, do they? So they might lose $53 billion of trade over here, but make $100 billion of extra trade over here that they wouldn't have otherwise got had the free trade agreement not been in place.
Yeah, you never know the counterfactual. And most economic modelling is just two guys in a room with a pencil and a dartboard and making up assumptions that will produce the number that they want. Sorry,
this is very reassuring.
Yeah,
thank you.
And
is there a tariff on the bullshit we peddle or not?
That is the end of the Board of the News, and I think the winning team is...
Oh, come on.
Ah, OK, that's good enough for me. Team VW.
The Encyclopedia of News. Involuntary interviews.
Most people are perfectly willing to be interviewed, but not all.
Unfortunately, my questions for him went unanswered because he told me he didn't want to answer them.
So if they don't want to grant an interview, choose a question that will make them want to stop and chat.
Brady Halls from The Current Affair. You've lost your job now. Do you have any regrets?
No, I love unemployment, Brady, and thanks for asking.
Lisa, are you worried about going back to jail?
No, I'm really looking forward to it. Should be a blast.
But be on your toes, in case they're not in a chatty mood.
He's out of the police station, goes left with the shimmy. No, it's a fake out. He's left the Channel 10 reporter in his wake. Let's see that on the replay. Oh, some beautiful candy being sold there. The Channel 10 reporter doesn't know which way he's going.
In cases like these, you'll need to explain your target's reluctance.
Running from responsibility.
No, I'm running from you.
And remember, if they won't speak...
Mr McCulloch, how did you spend the money? What did you spend the money on, sir?
Black and white slow-mo is as good as a confession.
McCulloch had access to a number of...
Imagine how guilty this slow black and white sloth must be. If your target gets away from you, you can simply speak to no one and pretend they're there.
Why were you doing the videos, John? John Feeney, tell us why you're doing the videos.
A technique so effective, I asked the reporter himself how he did it.
Tim Arveer, tell us why you stood there and spoke to absolutely no one.
Once you're talking at thin air, it might be time to forget your target and interview their family instead.
This man, believed to be the killer's brother, tries to avoid reporters.
His family avoided the cameras. His brother managed to dodge the attention.
A nervous smile from Omaja Nazari's sisters.
And when a man gets 18 months for road rage, who better to speak to than his partner and tiny son?
Are you pleased with today's sentence?
No comment.
Is there anything you would like to say to the 73-year-old's family?
I don't know. You're the expert at saying things to families.
But the best interviews are the ones that end up in a massive shit fight.
Get out of my face, you dog! Not even Australian, you dog!
So that's how interviewing... Hey, but didn't you spend 10 years harassing people for your own crappy shows?
As we touched on this week, dictator Kim Jong-un, which is me, by the way, marked his 70th anniversary of North Korea being ruled by one huge party by holding one huge party. In our next game, Kim Jong Unbelievable. Your job's to separate North Korean fact from fiction. And to kick it off, the first question is about executions. All right, teams, which offence hasn't led to a person being executed by Kim Jong-un? Your options are failure to breed lobsters, having a nap, dissing the dictionary, or finally, a disagreement over a mosaic. Which one has not led to somebody being executed?
I know falling asleep has.
Yes.
He got executed by having a missile shot at him. He did.
Really?
So I know that's fair dinkum.
Which one do you think it is?
Let's go with the argument over a mosaic.
Do we get an answer?
No.
Is this a one-by-one thing?
It's a dictatorship.
I don't know, you can have an answer. Let's find out the correct answer. It is that Kim had someone executed for each of the above reasons except for criticising the dictionary. Although that has actually happened during the Qing dynasty. A man called Wang Zhizhao was killed for criticising the dictionary. Presumably he was annoyed that they added the word amazeballs or something like that. Who knows? All right, next question. Which of these 4 achievements is not officially attributed to Kim Jong-un? He could drive at the age of 3. He has invented an invisible telephone, leading the development of a cure for AIDS, Ebola and SARS, or he was a sailing prodigy at the age of 9. Go to you guys first. Which one is he not an actual achievement of mine?
I reckon it's sailing prodigy. I think that's too.
Sailing
I think it's
prodigy?
too lame.
Yeah.
For you, sir, dear leader, sir.
But he's told people that he's invented an invisible nuclear missile. Like, inventing an invisible phone is nothing. You can actually call Vodafone and get an invisible phone.
No, they have invisible service.
I tend to agree, the sailing
I
prodigy.
think it's sailing, because where's the Pyongyang Yacht Club?
Yeah, who cares? Sailing at 9, nobody cares.
Would it be C because he would say there's no AIDS, Ebola or SARS in North Korea?
Because he cured it.
You're all,
Yeah, but it was
you're
never
all
there to
wrong.
begin with.
How can we all be wrong? We said everything 11 times.
Kim didn't invent the invisible telephone. That was the thing that he didn't do. That's because it was his father, Kim Jong-il, that invented the invisible telephone. All right, so your next challenge is based on the official North Korean broadcast of this week's 70th anniversary parade. Here's a sample of it.
기쁨도 괴로움도 함께 하신 분, 빗바람 눈바람 다 막아주신.
God almighty, it's a commentary or a desperate plea to escape. It's good. Sadly, we can't understand what the commentator's saying, although I suspect it was pretty positive. So Zoe and Peter, can you come up here? You are now going to be official translators for Korean Central Television. Come up to the front here. And you can translate some highlights from the parade commentary. Zoe, you're first. Here is your parade broadcast. Commentate away.
Okay. Well, it's a lovely day at the parade. We're so pleased the UN have joined us. So have the Von Trapp children, all of them, goose-stepping away. It's very nice. And their rival musical company doing South Pacific, they're all here too. And this is the part of the parade where we show that we're imminently about to blow up the world. That's an important part, and that's my favourite part, says the leader. Now, a little factoid, the leaders are made of chocolate. That's something you may not have known. I don't know.
Well done, Zoe.
Nice.
All right, Peter, your parade broadcast starts now. Translate or commentate away.
Well, the parade begins, as it always does, with dykes on bikes. They're very handsome-looking women. And here is the dear leader's first prototype for the rocket car, and this is his mobile Wi-Fi. He is a wonderfully inventive leader, and we cherish him dearly. His favourite children's television show is, of course, Smile or We'll Kill You. In a progressive move for North Korea, the gay civil servants, enjoying themselves immensely, thrilled to be able to walk proudly and out down the streets of Pyongyang. What a marvellous, marvellous display. Oh, this is unfortunate. 5 defectors making their way. Oh, dear God, I must be off. Yes, Walking Dead has started.
Thank you, Peter. I'm going to give it to Team VW. Congratulations. Chaz, what is their award?
It's my favourite tune from Kim Jong-un's K-pop band. Okay, now that is a nuclear missile being fired, and here that nuclear missile is crashing into the world and blowing it up.
The news, upholding safety standards. Every day, the news keeps people safe. When women are photographed without permission, the news keeps them safe.
Guards at a busy Westfield shopping centre using cameras to film young women.
They're the images that stunned and sickened a nation.
Oh my God. That's absolutely disgusting. Oh, that's no.
By showing the photos to anyone who'll look. When people forget to wear seatbelts, the news keeps them safe.
Seatbelts are so important for all drivers, and teens especially.
By forgetting to wear seatbelts. And when people should stay out of floods, the news keeps them safe.
People are urged to stay out of the water.
All right, good advice. Kate Creedon, thank you for that.
By, you guessed it, standing in floods. The news, upholding double standards.
It's our final round, Pandemonium, where our puntestants get up to some serious punny business. I'm going to give you some story topics from the news, and your job is to guess what pieces of punful wordplay the reporters went with. For example, if I told you there was a story about a surfing dog, you might say something like this.
And the hounds of swell are unleashed on a California beach.
But hopefully not something like this.
But each dog did get a prize for participation. Okay?
I do, sadly.
Are you ready? Hands on buzzers, please. First up is a story about panda twins being born in a zoo.
Too cute to bear.
I think you're just pandering to extremists.
Locals fear influx of Chinese natives will push up property prices.
Oh, yeah.
This is an Australian zoo? Because ours is Wang Wang, right? Could be like a double bang for Wang Wang.
I like the fact that you know the name of our pandas.
Oh, you kidding me?
Sorry.
And they were bamboozled.
All right, let's see what the news went with.
A giant panda at Washington's National Zoo has left officials bamboozled.
And we can't bear the excitement.
Next up, a story about a race between people in portable dunnies.
Oh.
It's true. What were the puns?
Winner shits it in.
I don't know, but it's definitely a race to the bottom.
Dunny winners come from behind.
Number 2 by a nose.
They really had the runs.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Was the winner Usain Bolt? Did they give out prizes for first, second and third?
Let's see what the news went with.
Talk about having the runs, having a crack at the annual event. Hard to keep a lid on all the excitement as competitors got on a roll, even allowing for the odd spill. Of course, the winner was flush with success.
Now let's go finally to the old news pun classic, a story about a barking dog upsetting neighbours.
Can I just get barking mad out of the way?
Yes, that's one of them, of course.
Why didn't they just get some ear pugs?
Subwoofers too loud, so
Hey.
Turn down the bass at Hound.
Are you going to go through every dog? He's always going to have an ear. Good, okay.
If you don't like the noise, just shut the Labrador. Soundproof.
Yes.
Volume gets put down.
No, we got taken to the farm.
One of the dogs are left, Zoe.
Okay, Pomeranian, something with an ear. I don't know what though. I can't.
All right.
I panicked.
Let's end this pain. Let's see what a current affair went with.
Driving the locals on this street absolutely barking mad.
What's got the residents in this street hot under the collar? It's been a bit rough lately. He claims he's being constantly hounded. Residents here have a big bone to pick, and now the paws are out in this epic neighbourhood dogfight.
Brad could be barking up the wrong tree. No one's fessing up to hounding Brad. He's still in the doghouse.
Well done, a current affair. But the real winner tonight, it was a close one, but they're going to give it to Team VW. Well done. Thank you for watching us. Join us next week on the Media Circus.